Have you ever felt trapped within yourself, as if living in a personal underground? Perhaps it's not a physical place, but a mental one. A space where doubts, regrets, and fears live, quietly shaping your days, influencing your choices, and sometimes keeping you from the life you truly want. Many of us spend our lives searching for meaning, for happiness, for recognition. Yet, deep down, there is always a nagging feeling that something is missing, something just beyond our grasp. Fyodor Dostoevsky reminds us that human beings are not purely rational. We are creatures of contradiction, desire, rebellion, and sometimes even self-destruction. There is a part of us that resists, that questions, that suffers silently, that feels guilt for things we cannot fully explain. And this search for meaning, even amidst pain, is what makes us profoundly human. In this video, we'll reflect on Notes from Underground, a work that feels almost as if it were written for each of us individually, inviting us to confront our own inner darkness and asking the essential question, who are we, really? Notes from Underground is short, yet its intensity is remarkable, like a mirror reflecting the hidden corners of the human soul. The narrator, the underground man, is someone deeply isolated from society, endlessly introspective and highly critical of the world around him, yet painfully aware of his own contradictions. He does not let us look away. He forces us to look inward, to confront the parts of ourselves we often hide, the impulses, fears, and desires we dare not admit even to ourselves. Imagine for a moment a life in which every action is questioned, every thought examined, every choice weighed against both morality and desire, yet the mind resists clarity, resisting even the best intentions. That is the underground. The key lesson here is profound. We all carry an underground within us, a private secret space where fears, regrets, desires, and unspoken longings reside, quietly shaping our lives, often without our conscious awareness. Many people spend years avoiding this inner space, distracting themselves with routines, social media, the constant need to be busy, productive, admired, or validated by others. But ignoring this inner world does not make it disappear. The underground remains, growing in complexity, influencing thoughts, decisions, and relationships, silently guiding our lives from behind the scenes. True self-awareness begins when we dare to enter this underground, when we sit with discomfort, when we face the shadow self without judgment, without excuses, without pretense, without pretending to be someone we are not. It is not about chasing success, or superficial happiness, or fulfilling societal expectations. It is about deep reflection, observing the thoughts and impulses we usually suppress, acknowledging contradictions, and recognizing the patterns that keep us stuck. Consider the underground man's struggles. He desires connection, yet isolates himself. He seeks purpose, yet sabotages opportunity. He wants to act, yet hesitates endlessly. In this, he mirrors us all, each of us living between reason and emotion, between our intentions and our fears, between the desire to grow and the pull of inertia. The narrative teaches us that being human means living with conflict, wrestling with impulses we don't fully understand, occasionally acting against our own best interests, and yet finding meaning in acknowledging this struggle. Liberation lies not in perfection, nor in erasing contradiction, but in awareness, in facing uncomfortable truths about ourselves, and learning to act consciously, rather than being controlled by hidden fears, resentment, or past conditioning. Reflect for a moment. Which impulses are guiding your life unconsciously? What hidden fears influence your choices? What longings have you buried deep within your underground? Facing these questions, sitting with these truths, is uncomfortable. Yes, but it is also profoundly transformative. Each moment of reflection, each honest acknowledgement of who we are, brings us closer to freedom, closer to clarity, closer to the possibility of living intentionally rather than reactively. And in that space of awareness, we find the first glimmers of self-mastery, the ability to choose, and the courage to act in alignment with our true values. So, how do we emerge from our personal underground? It begins with reflection, truly observing your thoughts, admitting your flaws, recognizing your fears, and being willing to sit with these truths. These are not signs of weakness. They are acts of quiet, persistent courage. Courage that shapes a conscious, intentional life. In our modern world, it is easy to distract ourselves, scrolling endlessly on social media, filling our time with busyness, comparing ourselves to others, chasing approval, chasing validation. But real growth, true personal transformation, comes from facing discomfort, understanding why we act as we do, and acknowledging the impulses that drive us, even when they are contradictory, irrational, or uncomfortable. This process is not easy. It is uncomfortable. It may even be painful, yet it is profoundly liberating. It allows us to reclaim agency over our own lives, to step consciously into the life we desire, rather than being carried by fear, habit, or resentment. Reflection is active, not passive. It is a dialogue with yourself, a willingness to question, observe, and accept. Ask yourself, which recurring patterns control my behavior? Which fears dictate my choices? What desires have I buried deep in my underground? By facing these questions, honestly and without judgment, we begin the slow ascent from the underground, step by step, thought by thought, choice by choice. Each moment of awareness, each act of reflection, is a victory over the unconscious forces that often dominate our lives. Consider journaling your thoughts, taking quiet walks, or simply sitting with yourself in stillness. These small practices build the bridge from shadow to clarity, from inaction to intentional living. And as we practice this reflection, we cultivate freedom, the freedom to live deliberately, with awareness, with understanding, and with compassion for ourselves and for others. Dostoevsky offers hope in words that echo across time. Beauty will save the world. But what does that truly mean for us, here, today? It is not only about art, grand aesthetics, or monumental gestures. It is about the ability to see something greater than ourselves, something that connects us, inspires us, uplifts us, and reminds us of meaning. When we begin to recognize beauty, whether in nature, in the kindness of another, in a small act of courage, or even in facing our own inner struggles, we begin to emerge from our underground. Personal development, in essence, is the pursuit of beauty, finding value, purpose, and meaning. Even amidst chaos, fear, or imperfection, consider the first time you noticed a sunrise, the gentle sound of rain, a smile from a stranger, the quiet courage of someone who acts despite fear. These are all forms of beauty guiding us, reminding us that life is larger than our suffering, larger than our regrets, larger than the fears that keep us trapped. Beauty is also found in the small ordinary acts, the patience we offer to ourselves, the compassion we show to others, the moments of honesty we allow in our relationships. Ask yourself, when did I last pause, truly notice, and appreciate beauty around me? When did I allow myself to be moved by something larger than my own concerns? Recognizing beauty is not passive. It is an active choice, a deliberate turning of attention, a conscious decision to see light even in darkness, to value connection, to honor life's moments. And in that choice, something shifts. The underground begins to lift, slowly, subtly, imperceptibly at first, yet undeniably. We start to see our lives with new clarity, to understand that meaning is not always found in achievement or recognition or external success. Meaning is found in awareness, in reflection, in connection, in the ability to feel deeply and to respond thoughtfully. This is why Dostoevsky said that beauty will save the world, because beauty teaches us presence, attentiveness, care, and love. And the beauty we recognize in the world can then awaken beauty in ourselves, the courage to face fears, the strength to embrace imperfection, the willingness to step into intentional living, pause, breathe, and reflect. What beauty exists in your life right now? Where do you see light in the shadows? Where can you cultivate gratitude for yourself and for others? Every moment of noticing, every act of appreciation is a step away from the underground and a step toward clarity, toward freedom, toward the world we hope to live in. So, as you continue your journey, remember this: beauty is not distant. It is here, waiting to guide you, to inspire you, to save you. If you allow yourself to see it, take a moment, breathe deeply, and notice the beauty that surrounds you. For it is in this awareness, this reflection, that the underground begins to lift and a new life begins to emerge.